How would you rate your current money mindset? Would it be highly confident? Would it be some uneasiness? Maybe a little bit of fear trickled in there as well? Most people don't realize it, but how we feel about money, it really shapes our financial success many times more than what the actual numbers might be. So what we're going to do today is we're going to break down the 5 key pillars of a healthy money mindset. So simple shifts, simple questions that you can ask yourself so that you can go from maybe feeling anxious to much more empowered when it comes to your finances. So the first pillar is clarify the unknowns. The biggest stress of money is not knowing if you're doing the right thing. So if you've ever worried about, am I doing what I need to for myself, for my family, you're not alone. And what most people do is they focus just on checking boxes. I have a 401k, I have some life insurance, maybe I have a savings account, and they wonder, why do I still not feel confident? Why do I still have this anxiety? And the reason is because checking boxes doesn't give you confidence, because you don't know if you can still do all the things or accomplish the things that you're wanting to do. So if you think about a 401k, you don't want a 401k just to have a 401k. It's because you want to feel secure that you're on track for retirement. You don't want life insurance just to have it. It's because you want to feel secure that if something happened to you, your spouse and your children, they would be okay. A savings account isn't something to have just to have either. It's that if you had to have a job loss that you had to endure, or there was a big expense that was unexpected, some kind of an emergency, that you have enough money for 3 months, 6 months, 1 year to replace that you don't have to worry about where that paycheck or where that money is going to come from for your family to be okay. So what you should do for this first pillar is you should ask yourself, what are the unknowns I'm most worried about? Is it that I'm on the right track for retirement, that I'm saving enough, that I have enough for short-term expenses, that my family would be okay if something happened to me? Write down what is worrying you, and then you'll know where to focus your energy, what questions you have to even answer to start feeling better. Pillar 2 is staying flexible. Here's something that we don't always think about, but life is very unpredictable. We like to think that we're in control, that we know where everything is going to go, but the truth is that we don't. Our family may shift, our priority may shift, and so the key, though, to handling all that comes down to flexibility. So how do we stay flexible for all these things that are going to come that we may not expect? You need to be intentional about building that flexibility. It's not just going to occur for you if you want it to happen. You have to be intentional about creating it for yourself. And usually what this means is that you have different types of an account. You have maybe a savings account for shorter term expenses. You might have a brokerage or intermediate term joint account for mid to long term expenses. So you have some flexibility built in. It's not just all sitting in retirement accounts where you can't touch it till you're 59 and a half. So wanting to have those buckets to say, hey, if something happened where I need to replace my income for 3 months, where would it come from? If something happened and I needed to do something to my home, where would it come from? So ask yourself these questions. When life inevitably throws you a curveball and you need this flexibility with your finances, where would that come from? And if you can't answer that today, like this is where it's going to come from, this account, this is what I'm doing, then what can you do today, saving $50, $100, whatever it may be, into a flexible type of an account to get to where you would like to feel? So how much flexibility do I want? Where would I go today? And what can I save today to start trying to get there? All right, so that moves us into pillar 3, protect what matters most. When something happens that's unexpected, where someone passes away, no one says, I wish I would left less life insurance to my spouse and my children. And so it's not a glamorous thing. It's nothing that anybody wants to think about. But the simplest financial thing that you can do for protection is to protect your biggest financial asset. And your biggest financial asset is not your savings account, not your 401k most times. It's your future income earning potential, what you earn year after year to provide that financial support to your family. And when you're looking for coverage, it tends to be if you're younger, and the good news is if you're younger, if you're healthy, it can be very inexpensive to do that. Because what you're buying is not a piece of paper, you're buying peace of mind with that insurance policy. And so if something happens to you tomorrow, can you answer the question of, this is how many years my family would be protected? If I passed away tomorrow, my family wouldn't have to move out of their house for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years? Hopefully the answer is 10, 15, 20 years, never, because you did such a good job getting that life insurance together to protect yourself and your family if anything happened. So term life insurance, if you're looking, that generally is the most cost-effective way to go about it. You can get 10, 15, 20 years worth of income replacement potential at relatively affordable prices, again, if you are healthy and especially if you're younger as well. So what are you doing to protect your family? How many years worth of income are you protecting for them right now? If it's just, well, I have whatever I have at work and that's 1 or 2 times your income, Do you think 1 or 2 times your income will be enough to last your family long term to stay in their current lifestyle and still be able to hit retirement and college for your kids and all that other stuff? If the answer is no, you want to make sure you're attending to that sooner rather than later. All right, pillar 4, focus on your savings. So something that we can do that's actually fun is looking at the progress we've already made and how do we get ourselves to a level to really be on track to hit those progress markers all down the road as well. Consistent saving and investing, even if it's modest, it adds up surprisingly fast when you add in the time and the compound growth, which go hand in hand together. So if we assume someone's income is, say, $50,000 when they get out of college, and their income goes up 3% every year, and their investments return 7% on average, then someone who starts at that $50,000 mark and saves 10%, so that's not a ton, 10% of their income, and when their income goes up by that 3%, they save, again, 10% of that new higher amount, and they do that for their whole working career, they would walk away with roughly $1 million at retirement. So just getting to that habit, we all have habits. Let's start a good habit, which is savings first. And that way we don't just have to focus on what we don't have. We can look at the progress that we've made with the savings. We can look at what we have in our accounts, how far along we've gone to. And then once we hit that mark, that 10%, 12%, whatever it is that makes us feel comfortable, we can just worry about what do we do with the rest of the money. We can do more guilt-free enjoying today. It doesn't have to all be long down the road. So ask yourself that question. What is my savings rate today? And am I comfortable with that? Do I feel like that's going to get me to where I need to be? And if not, how can I design a plan to get there? And then I don't have to think about it anymore. I could just spend more time enjoying life. Last pillar, number 5, keep investing boring. This is not what we see on TV or in Hollywood, but if your investments feel like a Hollywood movie or a roller coaster, probably a bad sign. We want our investments to feel much more like steady progress, kind of like a slow cooker mentality instead of going into the frying pan in and out all the time. Healthy money mindset when it comes to investing is separating the emotion from action, and emotion can play a huge role in our investments, and more times than not, it's not to our benefit. So if we're diversifying our investments, we're staying consistent, and we're remembering that the goal is growth, not some fun entertainment, this is a tool that we're using to get us where we want to go, we're probably going to be much better off long term. Remember that money needs time. We don't need to add in emotion and drama. So drama and the emotion pieces usually come up every 4 to 6 years when there's a big movement in the market, and we see that, and we a lot of times react in a way that hurts us in the long term. So if it's going to happen every 4 to 6 years on average, how confident are you in your investment strategy today? If something happened tomorrow, do you think you would be able to keep the course for your current investment strategy so that you can keep getting to where you need to be long term? So ask yourself these 5 pillar questions to make sure that you're going in the right direction and you have a healthy money mindset for yourself. So first, clarify what unknowns you have that would give you peace of mind if you had the answers. Number 2, make sure that you're staying flexible. 3, make sure that you have those protections in place. Number 4, make sure you're saving that rate towards yourself, 10% or more. And number 5, then you can just worry about having your investment strategy be something that you're comfortable with, all-weather portfolio, so that you don't have to get into the emotions, the drama that sets so many people off track. Am I set up for an investment strategy that I can continue with year after year, even when that drama and that emotion occurs? So look at your 5 pillars, answer those 5 questions, and get on a better path forward for you and for your family. If learning about finances is important to you, then click the link at the bottom of this video.